To introduce one of the most fascinating men on television and in the ministry. This is Dr. Frederick J. Eichenkotter, better known to his millions of fans and parishioners, should we call them?
Yes, you may.
As simply Reverend Ike. Reverend Ike is the president, founder, minister of the United Church Science of Living Institute, and he is seen regularly on television. Reverend Ike, if I may get informal with you.
Yes, please do.
You are criticized often by people who say your main concern is money. You talk more about money than you do about the spiritual qualities of your ministry. How do you answer that? Sorry. I see you are here today with a tremendously beautiful watch and the ring and a very fancy garb and a flower and a diamond stick pin, and you probably came here in a Cadillac?
You know, people have hang-ups about money that I don't have. And I'm not any more in love with money than anybody else. It's just that I'm not a hypocrite about money. And I find out that people are just such hypocrites about money. For example, like preachers who get up and say how evil and dirty and filthy money is, and then proceed to try to raise it and to take it up in church. I love money, and money loves me. And you know, it was the Apostle Paul who said that the love of money is the root of all evil. But I came along and corrected the Apostle Paul. It's the lack of money that is the root of all evil. And I've seen the lack of money hurt people more than the love of money.
But you certainly have seen the love of money cause many people, downfall of many people, to go awry and have many a fault and problem with
This is
money.
true because, you see, there's a difference. It's all right to have money, but don't let money have you. When you let money possess you, then you're in trouble. But as long as you possess money, and I teach people to understand that I am the master of money. Money is not the master of me. I use money, but I do not permit money to use me.
How do you use money, Reverend?
I use money for good purposes, and people in general need money for good purposes.
And what are the good purposes?
There is no good purpose. For example, I'm in the business of preaching and teaching positive self-awareness, positive self-motivation. I teach people that if they believe in themselves correctly and positively, they can be what they want to be, do what they want to do, and have what they want to have right here, right now.
Do you believe then in the hereafter?
I believe in the here and the now. I'm not preaching about the sweet by and by. Too many people are waiting for pie in the sky by and by when they die. I believe that heaven begins now, but it does not end now. And whatever is going to happen in the hereafter, if a person develops himself and does all the good that he can here and now, whatever comes later will be even better.
Well, let me get it straight. Do you believe in the hereafter, or do you not?
I believe in the eternal now. That's what I call it.
You believe in living for today?
I believe in the eternal now. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow never comes. I must live today. I believe that it is the responsibility of each individual to make the most of himself right here, right now, and whatever comes later will be better.
Then why do you get linked with money so much? What you're saying right now is a very good and very honest approach to religion. Doing good, but you're tied up with money all the time.
Yes, I think I'm linked with money simply because I'm the least hypocritical minister about money. As I say, other ministers may say that it's dirty and that it's filthy. I say that money is good stuff. I say that it is wonderful stuff. I have the gall to say that publicly.
Shouldn't a minister be more concerned with the spiritual qualities of life rather than the material and financial qualities of life? So isn't that your calling?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, money is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. And to me, money is more than dollars and cents. To me, money is the getting power of self-awareness. In the marketplace of life, a person always gets that which belongs to his self-awareness, to his self-image. And I call the riches of life health, happiness, love, success, and prosperity. And when a person establishes in his mind an image of himself being healthy, being happy, being loving and beloved, and being successful and prosperous, this will cause the riches of life to gravitate to him. This will motivate him to go out and to make his life rich in every way. And in this way, he will also enrich society.
But the riches of life, Reverend Ike, do not pertain particularly to money.
Well, notice...
You can be a very rich person without having much money and be a good citizen and a good religious person.
But notice the order in which I list the riches of life: health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money.
But somehow,
But
Reverend,
mostly people start with the money thing, just like you. You
Yes.
haven't gotten off of the money yet.
That's right.
I haven't
Because
gotten you to
you're
the
so
health, the happiness, the love yet.
because you're so identified with raising money, and you say yourself, don't give me any coins, they make noise. Just put that soft stuff in their dollar bills and they collect.
That's true. My church is not a 5 and 10 cent store.
So you do emphasize money.
And the
you
Lord's
see.
business should be first class, and I operate the Lord's business on a first class basis.
See, now you're the one who has a hang-up about money.
Oh, no, I don't have any hang-ups about it. I'm
Because
using
you're talking
it.
about
I'm
money
using
and-
it in wonderful ways. And let me say this, I'm glad I am motivating people. You know, I get a lot of people off of welfare.
Good.
And
That's very necessary.
because I say this, that welfare has its place, but don't make it a resting place. And I think that we have given people the idea too much that society owes them something. The individual owes it to himself to become self-sufficient, to become self-responsible, self-directed, and self-disciplined. And this is what I'm teaching people. And you see, it costs me millions of dollars a year to get on radio and television, to tell people, look, I mean, don't wait for the president or the governor or the mayor to give you handouts. Believe in yourself. Believe in the God within you, and you can make your own way, and you won't have to sit around and depend on handouts. And to preach this kind of gospel, if you please, because this is my gospel, it's very expensive.
See, there we get back to money now.
And
That's why you have
absolutely,
to raise the
it
money.
only goes to show you, regardless of what you do, it costs money. My church in New York City is, in effect, a television studio. It took, for example, $250,000 of extra air conditioning when we installed our television lights in the church. Our church building there in New York occupies 1 square block. We have invested over $2 million in it. We have coated the walls with new gold. People say to me, Reverend Ike, why is it that you've put this much money into the church building? And I do it for a certain reason. When people walk into the midst of all of this affluence and this opulence and this luxury, it magnetizes their consciousness, if you please, for wealth and prosperity.
Doesn't it turn people off, though, to see in the church with such opulence?
It
which
turns
is contrary
people
to...
off who have what I call a money rejection complex. And there is a very deep money rejection complex in the world, and even in this nation. When Rockefeller was nominated for vice president on the national level, we saw the money rejection complex at its height. A lot of people objected to Rockefeller for one reason, his money. And then they began to find out how much money he had given away, and they began to criticize him for that. Finally, it sort of dawned on these people, well, look, the only criticism we have of this man is the fact that he has a lot of money, and he's given a lot of it away. And here again, people who are truly wealthy, they give a lot away. I myself have no personal estate.
I think the ejection of Rockefeller was by those who did object. I don't know who they are, but they came from the fear of his power due to his money. That was more of the resentment of Rockefeller.
But there is one comfort in that. At least nobody could buy him with dollars and cents.
Yes, but who could he buy with his dollars and cents? That's the concern.
So
And
are
that
we
is
going
the
to be...
concern we have about you, Reverend Ike.
Well, I don't buy anybody. The only thing that I'm trying to do is to convert the individual to believe in himself. I never ask anybody to join my church, for example. The only thing that I'm doing is trying to attempt to convert the individual to believe in the power of God within himself so that he can become self-sufficient and a self-responsible member of society.
Well, that's what religion should do. It should motivate people, and you should be commended for that. But don't people resent your driving around in a Cadillac and all the jewelry
I
and
don't
everything?
ride in Cadillacs except those that we hire. The church owns 16 Rolls Royces, and principally these are what I ride in. And may I add on the subject of money, the 16 Rolls Royces that the church owns are good investments. As a matter of fact, the church has 2 of its Rolls Royces that are worth approximately $100,000 each, and we got them much cheaper a few years ago. You see, I have to be a good businessman also, because this is the Lord's business.
You might become a good used car dealer, too, eventually, if
Well, no, this
things
would,
go wrong.
this would be a classic car dealer. Pardon me.
Let me pause here for just a moment, and we'll be right back with the fascinating story of the Reverend Ike.